Hello everyone, my name is KelSounds, and today I want to show you how I made these growl intro horn things. It's something you would use for the intro of a song or like a dubstep song or something, or I don't know, you could do something really cool with this, I guess. But here's what they sound like. And this is the second one. And this is the final one. I also forgot to mention that this is in my new sample pack I released called LaserWubs 5. I have LaserWubs 3, 4, and 5, and I also have 2 and 1, but they're not called LaserWubs. They're just a different sample pack. And then I decided, I'm just gonna give them names. So yeah, there's a total of 25 samples in here. So if you want to go ahead and download that inside the Patreon, those are for my tier 1 subscribers. But yeah, it'll be in there, and so are these growls. But I'm going to go ahead and show you what I did here so you can recreate them for yourselves. Okay, so it's nothing really too crazy, just a lot of post-processing, but I'm just going to lay down kind of just like what I did to get that main sound. And I just use a sawtooth wave and an analog generator here, and of course, you know, it's an FM sound, so I'm going to go ahead and grab another generator, so an analog generator. And I'm going to FM the phase, and then I'm going to turn this up probably by like 5 octaves, and we're just going to mess around with the sound or the FM until we get it to sound the way we want and get that very resonant growl sound. Probably put it at F0 down here, and by the way, the BPM for this was 150. That's what I made the growls at. But you can use, of course, whatever BPM you want to use. I'm just going to stick to 150 beats per minute. And so there we go. Alrighty, let's see what we get if we just mess around with the phase modulation here. And as you can tell, it's already very, very aggressive sounding. So I'm going to go ahead and put it at maybe like 50. And then I'm going to come over here to macro knob 1 and just call this FM. And I'm going to click on the plus and come over here to the equal sign underneath the phase modulation. And that just pretty much adjusts how much the effect is being applied to the signal, or how much that FM is being applied. So yeah. And then I'm going to go, actually, you know, I don't even need to insert that into a slot. I can just configure over here on Faceplant and hit our FM macro knob. Then I'm going to go ahead and show that in the automation and automate that. So it'll be... And I like the way that sounds. And then I'm going to go ahead and add another layer here just to see how it sounds. And just re-enable this. And I kind of like the way that sounds, so I'm going ahead and just added another layer here. So I also modulated the level here of the generator, so as I automate the FM macro knob inside of our DAW here, it'll increase this from 0 to a louder volume. So I'm going to rename or re-enable this automation, and so let's see what it sounds like. And of course you can adjust the volume here, but I don't want it to be too loud, so that's perfect right there. And then, of course, I'm going to go ahead and add a saturator to saturate our sound a little bit. Maybe we'll add a little bit of fuzz too, just to see how it sounds. So without it first, and then let's slowly turn up this drive, see how we like it. That's pretty good. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a multipass and put a comb filter inside of band 3 here, and get some more of a phased out sound with a comb filter. The polarity I'm going to put on minus because I don't want it peaking. And I'll probably add another comb filter. And I like the way that sounds. And then for the highs here, I'm just going to add a distortion. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn up the mix a little bit until I like the way it sounds. So that's good enough at 30%. And I'm going to go ahead and re-enable this automation. I don't know why it keeps cutting off. And I'm going to go ahead and mess with the band. And I'm going to make this kind of last out a little bit longer here. And that sounds good. And so yeah, so I went ahead and kind of adjusted where the effects were going to take place inside of this multi-band dynamics. So a lot of this is just kind of tweaking to get the sound that you want. And there we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a frequency shifter. And I'm going to add an LFO modulator. Turn this to off because I don't want it looping. And then I'll just right click, put like 12. And then kind of do this, add this kind of shape. And we'll make it go faster, of course. I kind of like that that pitch down that it has to it. And I'm going to come in here and adjust this shape a little bit. And that sounds pretty good. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a ring mod. And so what the ring mod here is doing is just multiplying the first signal by the second, and it's kind of just like amplitude modulation, and it's making our sound go really fast, which is why it sounds like kind of like that. So yeah, without it, it sounds like, and then with it, it sounds like this. And so it's just making our signal go really, really fast, and amplitude, or modulating the amplitude really fast. And I kind of like the way that sounds. Sounds very gritty. So I'm going to leave it at, what's this percent? 44%. And then I'm going to go ahead and add one more saturator just to juice things up. And that's that. So yeah, that's pretty much the sound. And then, of course, the cherry on top for this sound is the reverb. So I'm going to go ahead and use, actually I use Valhalla Room, but I'm going to use Ableton's stock plugin, reverb. And we're going to go ahead and turn up the decay a lot. Alright, so what I did was I just automated the reverb amount on the signal, and then I kind of just did some pre-filtering inside of Ableton's reverb, and it kind of just cut out the highs of the reverb, and so it sounds like this. Kind of like there's a little bit of reverb. And then I turned up the decay a little bit and just automated the dry wet knob inside of the reverb here, and this is the final result. And of course, you can put a limiter on this, which I'm going to do. Just put Pro L. That's pretty good, so it doesn't go over 0 decibels. And then I'm just going to record this. And voila, we got ourselves a sample. And that's that. I'm going to go ahead and edit this real quick. Do some of this. And that's our sample. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope this was helpful. And adios.